Welcome to the Accountability and Hopeful Fridays Friday session.
I'll give the share over to you and let you. What was
I'm
that?
good. I'm good.
Okay.
I didn't
All
make a
right.
big deal.
All right. And is that a Gucci belt in that picture of you there? Is that what that is?
Yes, and my husband
All right.
still crib about that. Why you got that? And I mean, yeah.
Hey, I like that pose. Is that confession? Is that a pose you took, or is that a pose AI gave you? Where's the
No, it's the picture is of I think 2021. At that time, AI was not, that famous, and we were not able to edit the pictures at that time.
well, you
Yeah.
you nailed that picture. That kind of picture is the ones you see AI doing today. So kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you. Kudos to my
All
husband who
right.
took the picture.
Well, all right, you are up. I know you've got a hard stop, so what we'll do is as you're doing your presentation part, you let me know. I think we talked about this before. You'd rather maybe get some questions after versus during, just so you've got a chance to keep your flow.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so, with that intro and with that, compliment to the photographer, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so I think once I will finish my part, then I will go with the questions.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, you want me to start?
Please, yeah, go ahead. So the one thing I'll do that, remember how I said to you on Wednesday, if you've got
Mm-hmm.
one insider piece of knowledge that folks may not be aware of, like superpower or a trick, a skill, or some other tip for the job search that we may have not heard before, we'd love to hear it.
Yes, perfect. So, yeah, thank you for having me, Cale, and thank you, Jimmy, because he's the one who introduced to me with AHF, with this group, and yeah, I'm really thankful to him. So, before getting into anything useful, so I just want to give you a quick background from where I came, and it will shape what I'm gonna say. So, I did my PhD in HR specifically on women. Why women in IT industry leave the organization? Why they want to go to the other organization or why they quit the job? And yeah, the reason for the women employee turnover specifically. Then I taught for 8 years HR and management to graduate and undergraduate students. I was teaching to MBA and BBA students. So I've been working with someone who are going to enter in the industry. And from the last 5 years, I've been working as a practitioner side, working as an HR professional, mainly in compliance and onboarding, which means I'm often the first person you deal with the day when you actually start a job. So I have seen the whole arc. First, why people leave the industry. Then I taught to the students about it who are going to enter in the corporate world. And then now I am in the area in which people walks into the door and I'm the first one to, welcoming them. So that's the whole art. So here's my one piece. Most people, when they are doing the job hunting, so they treat the salary as the thing that matters them most. So when we finally get an offer, we treat that as a finish line. We just relax, we enjoy, we do the party, we celebrate. So for us, the search is over. So I really want to complicate both of those because my research has something surprising to say about it. When I studied why women were leaving the IT industry, I went in expecting that usual story. And here's what my data showed. So, yes, money did come out as a single most critical factor. For the people who say that we joined this job because we got a higher package and it's all about pay, they're not wrong. So,
I'm not interested in refinancing. I just refinanced and I'm good.
okay.
I did.
So, yeah, the one biggest factor, it was money. But there's one important part. Money was not something that kept people. That's the piece that surprised me. Like money is something that gets people into the door. But there is a large bundle of things that decide whether you want to stay in the organization or not. So my research, because basically it was on the women employee turnover. So the work-life balance was one thing for that women were, going out of the industry. Then there are two-way communication, autonomy, your attitude with your manager, what's your career ladder look like in the organization. So yeah, so this is the bundle of factor which decide whether you want to stay in the organization or not. So why it matters to you? Sometimes we don't realize it. So there is one factor that we really want to evaluate, and we can do that. That's the number, that's the salary. We can easily evaluate because if one company is giving that much amount and the other is giving that much, we can evaluate and we'll go with who is giving us the higher package. But sometimes we completely, forget or hide the other 7 or 8 factors that will actually decide whether we are happy or will be there in the organization for next 2 years or so. So we most of the time ignore those hidden factors, but we can do that if we know how to look at it. So we just don't, sometimes we don't look at it because we are mainly focusing on the other part. That is, yeah, I agree, that is the most important part, but we sometimes we ignore the other aspect of the job. So when we go for an interview, it's like they are screening us, but we also have a right to screen them just as hard as they are doing it for us. So when it comes down to a question, when at the end of the interview, when they asked us, do you have any question for us? So most of the time we, waste that moment. We ask about, okay, what would be the vacation days? That is the, I think, the second most important factor for us after money. And sometimes we say, oh, no, I think you covered everything. So at that time, we are missing the opportunity. So that is our chance to screen for the hidden bundle from that organization. So we can ask just, we should not dig like we are interrogating your organization, but we can just show, yeah, we are really interested in joining, but I have, few questions and I'm really curious about it. Like we can ask who had this role before me and where they are now. If the honest answer is they left, or if they say uh, the person before him also left. So I think that tells you something that not salary number will tell you. Then we can ask if you want to know about what would be the path. Suppose if you are joining on this level of hierarchy, you want to know like after that, after 1 year or after 2 years, where you would be on that hierarchy. So you can ask them that what growth looks like for someone starting in this position. So you need to check they have a real answer or the vague one. So if they have the real answer, you got your answer. But if they have the vague one, in that case, you know what gonna happen. Then you can ask them, can I talk to someone, not my manager, but who would be on the same level, my peer with whom I'm gonna work with. So the people who are doing the job that you exactly gonna do, they will tell you a truth about the culture. Whether the company tells you about something else, but that person will most probably will tell you the truth. So if they are saying, oh no, that's not our company policy or that's confidential, then that's a red flag. So this would give you the answer of two-way communication and autonomy and how you gonna take decision when you join the organization. So here's the trick. You just don't listen to the answer. We need to listen to the hesitations, the pause, and the answers are real or the vague one. Then what I think is the best job search doesn't end with when you get an offer. So when you get an offer, if you have not properly interrogating it, then it could be a problem later on. The number tells you what they will pay you. But when we talk about the bundle, it tells you whether you're gonna stay in the organization or not. You can screen your employer as hard as they screen you. Because later on, if you feel that you are not a good fit for the culture, organization, you are not just losing your peace of mind or salary, you are, I think, losing 1 year of your life. And most of the time, the question came that I was not working for a while, and how do I get back in if you're not because if there is a career gap in your resume. So frankly speaking, that's a really common worry because even that happened with me. So I want to take that pressure off. So I see most of the time the gap in your resume make us feel no, I'm not here talking from the perspective of HR, but as a candidate, like we fear most like there's a gap in your resume and what we should answer. So I think we should be very honest here. Uh, might be you took leave for your family, for your children, for caregiving for someone, or you were studying, or simply searching the job for a while. So we should uh, give the honest answer. We should not feel ashamed about it. We should not hide it, and we should not apologize about it because that is the one part of our life beside the work because beside the work we are working on. So we should not drag it. We should not tell them in the detail, but yeah, just one answer, but just the honest answer. So you can say, yeah, I was out for the family, or I was, working on some volunteer project, or I was studying, or whatever the actual reason was. There is no need to hide it or apologize for it. So we can answer it in a very calm way. And you can say they are not actually looking for why you didn't come, but the HR, they are actually looking for, are you now ready to enter in the organization and in that same job, or are you really focused, or what kind of role you are looking for? You shouldn't show like again I'm interrogating or something, but yeah, if you have curious mind, if you have active mind, then that would be a green signal for you. So you can tell them that, okay, so I was working on this thing because there was a gap in my resume. So at that time I was working with this. Now I know about this. So how I was and how I am now. And and the next thing is there should be some qualities to re-enter. So I have divided it into three C. The first C is connection. When Cale was talking about here with everyone, and they were sharing their accountability, and I have seen one slide in which one of the member got the job. Uh, so I don't know how she got it, but there is a very, very important thing, that is connection. That's what we are doing here today. We need to be visible again. This is the main step we often skip. We need to reactivate your networks. I think AHS is doing this right now. We are reactivating our network. We are telling people that we are coming back, and like he just told us, like, we need to connect with each other on LinkedIn, with new persons or with your old colleagues. Then rather than giving a cold application to any organization, there is a back door. If you will just say a warm hi, oh, I know you, or somebody can refer you, that would be a great thing. So you can work with them, like he said, like we have volunteers. I think he said 30 volunteers we have. So whether you are going for any interview, and if they ask why there is a gap in your resume, you can say, oh, I was working with AHC, and I was working voluntarily with them, and yeah, that's one thing you can do. So the most important is connection, then confidence. Yeah, if you have gap, if you want to, go, you start a job again, there should be a confidence without any apology. So we can re-enter successfully anytime if you will take it calmly, and you talk about like what you're gonna bring to the organization, and you can make them understand that whatever your experience was, that didn't disappear during the gap, and now you came to the organization with more maturity. And so that was the second thing. First was connection, that second was confidence, and the first is currency. Currency is what that suppose I'm taking a gap for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. So the word will move while you were away. So before we apply for a job, any job, we should spend a little time on catching up what's going on. For my profile, for the particular job, I'm going I'm gonna give the interview for, what are the new tools in the organization, what are the new languages, or what would be the expectations of the person who is taking your interview. Then you can just uh, do a short course, or you can get a certificate, or read what's going on currently. We don't need to be an expert again, and we cannot be an expert again overnight, but just say what's the present language of an industry, not from the one from where you have left. So yeah, that's my opinion. We can go with I think couple of questions.
Well, that was two C's. Did I heard two? Did I miss the third? I heard
Currency,
connections and currency.
currency, connection, and confidence.
Confidence. That's the
But I
one.
like the
Okay.
connection most, because whatever you were saying in the starting, and how you introduce AHC, AHF. So let's explain how connection works here. I'm here because of Jimmy. We met, I think, last year in some event, and that's how we get connected. So that's the major thing. If you want to enter the industry again, sometimes we cannot go through the front door. At that time, we need to take the back door. If you references, it means a lot. I won't
Yeah.
say it's everything, but reference means a lot.
It gets you a better chance of getting the interview where then it's on you to sell yourself. It gets you the shot, right?
Correct.
Well, hey, I know you've got a hard stop here, so I do want to make sure we get questions. I'm going to steal the first question because I can.
So should I go ahead and stop recording?
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. That's fine. All right, so I do want to say thank you first